I'm so sorry that I'm making this episode a bit late. It's Thanksgiving. I just want to spend some time off of YouTube, since it's like a family day. So, today we are studying Venus. Listen very closely, because last time in the end I got very confusing, like start losing my voice or something. So let's get started. Alrighty, we are on the first page. Venus has no moons. Say, people, why does Venus have no moons? I'm not going to deep dive into this one, but Venus has no moons because of a combination of factors that are related to Venus's formation, and it is also related to the sun's gravitational influence. Venus is the second planet in our solar system. Say we have the sun. The sun is a star, not a planet. That might not be clear to some of you. Mercury is planet number 1. Then if we count number 1, Mercury, number 2, Venus. Say yes, Venus is the second planet in our solar system. Venus is also called the planet of love. I'm not going to dive deep into that one. I don't know. Venus is the brightest planet in the night sky. So, say it probably looks like it based off on this image. Well, the moon is very bright because it's white, and I don't know any other reasons. I just always thought moon was brighter than Venus because it's white, lighter than Venus, So, Venus is the brightest planet in the night sky, but the moon is the brightest thing in the night sky, other than a planet. So just want to let you know. The size, mass, and average density of planet Venus are about the same as the Earth. Say, people, let me deep dive here. What does this mean? Let me get a little deeper. So, the diameter and the volume of Venus are nearly the same as Earth's. So, this is about the mass. Both of these planets contain a similar amount of matter. So now we are on to the average density. So, we have the internal composition. So the internal composition, that's because of the internal composition and how tightly packed the matter are comparable between the two planets. I kind of just looked that up on the internet because it didn't make sense. Alright, so we are on our second page. Venus is the closest planet to Earth. I thought Mercury was, because Mercury is planet number 1, and then Venus is planet number 2. So I really don't agree with that statement. So don't be like, oh yeah, that makes more sense because of that statement. Just don't. I think it's wrong. I think that statement is wrong, honestly. Venus has no moons or rings. So Venus has no moons. Why? So why does Venus have no moons? Because Venus is very close to the proximity to the sun, which then makes it difficult to have a moon, basically. Now for the rings part. You know how Saturn has rings? Fun fact, Uranus has rings too. They're just very hard to see. If you don't see any rings around Venus, do you? Like the rings around Saturn? That is a very easy fact to remember in your brain. Venus is the hottest planet in our solar system. That is easy to believe because of all of the volcanoes. Venus has a lot of volcanoes that erupt on it, and that is what makes it the hottest planet, because volcanoes are very hot. Venus rotates in the opposite direction compared to the other planets. Say, Why? Why? Say, most planets rotate counterclockwise when the planets are viewed from the North Pole. Venus rotates clockwise. Alrighty, let's continue, people. Say, Venus has a very unusual rotation. And if a person was standing on Venus, the sun would appear to rise in the west and the sun would be setting in the east. That is because of Venus rotating in this opposite direction. A day on Venus is longer than a year on Venus. Say, a year on Venus is 225 days. Yeah, 225 days for a year on Venus. And how long is one day on Venus? 243 days. You see, 225 is smaller than 243. That is how they are getting that. Alright, Venus is the brightest object in the night sky after the moon. So I always believed that the moon was brighter than Venus in the sky because it was white, and white is a brighter color than orange. But we can see from this image and plenty of other images of Venus that is a true fact, because Venus looks very bright in this image. Now, people, I know I don't normally do this, but I have to Google this last one. Doesn't make sense. Sulfuric acids rain on Venus. Well, I kind of know a little bit, but not that much, so I'm going to have to Google it. Alrighty, people, say, alright, so, hang on. Say, alright, Google just got feedback. This means that the clouds on Venus are made up of sulfuric acid droplets, which fall as precipitation. However, the rain does not actually reach the planet's surface. This is because the surface temperature of Venus is extremely hot, around 430 degrees Celsius, or 860 degrees Fahrenheit. The sulfuric acid droplets evaporate due to the intense heat at an altitude around 30 kilometers, and that is about 98,425 feet above the surface, and a phenomenon known as Virga. And this resulting water vapor and sulfur dioxide gas then rise back up to reform the clouds. Alright, that's all. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Stay tuned for tomorrow's episode about our planet Earth. I cannot skip it. It would not be proper. Bye.